Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight, for sharing part of your evening with us. My name is Whitney Ziegler. I'm the founder and CEO of Big Rocks Organizing. We are a small, locally owned, women and LGBTQ owned professional organizing and move management company in the Portland, Vancouver metro area. And I'm excited to introduce my co-hosts, Karin and Jean, who is running all of our tech and keeping things running smoothly. So thank you for being here tonight, you two, to help us with our topic. So this is part of our Zero Waste series for 2026. And tonight we're going to talk about how and where to shop. And in anticipation of this, our team visited a bunch of zero waste and bulk stores and local co-ops. So we have some photos and videos to share with you as we talk tonight. And we're also wanting to hear about your suggestions for where you shop, whether it's online or whether it's here in the community. We want to hear all your questions and comments and feedback as well. Before we dive into tonight's topic, I just wanted to go back and revisit last month. Our homework, which was optional, was to analyze our trash. I'm curious if anybody took on that challenge and if you wanted to share what you learned about your garbage.
I will.
Thank you, Beth.
I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, one thing that I knew was, particularly in the kitchen, there's a tremendous amount of plastic. Um, and one of the things that I realized was that I have to cut back on buying produce at Trader Joe's because they wrap almost all their produce in plastic. So I went back to I bought a lot of produce yesterday and I bought it at Safeway because I could buy it all. Well, the carrots were in plastic, but because they didn't have any loose ones yesterday, but um, just to cut back on the plastic. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that I couldn't recycle. Anyway, but one thing is that when I use bathroom wipes, not bathroom wipes, but wipes like toilet paper. And when COVID started, we stopped using the flushables because everybody was at home using the flushables and it caused a problem. And I haven't gone back. And I'm going to go back because there's a lot of them in my in the garbage. And I hadn't even thought about that. So I'll go back. Um, I have a lot of sinus and nasal problem. I don't know how to it's too much. I stopped using Kleenex or I respect that you're trying to go back to handkerchiefs or go to handkerchiefs. I gave them up years ago because I've got so much going on and I don't know how to get around that. I'm switching to bamboo toilet paper, and the company I'm doing that with is also has facial tissue. They can't call it Kleenex. Facial tissue, and I'm hoping their facial tissue is flushable. I don't know that yet, but
Do you remember the name of the company, Beth?
um, plant paper. So other than the plastic, that's what stood out. And so many things that I take a lot of supplements and they're in a plastic bottle that's recyclable, but the lids aren't.
You can recycle them through James Recycling and Ridwell here locally. Are you familiar with either of those
Well,
organizations? Yeah. Ridwell started in Seattle during the pandemic, and they've now
I'm
expanded.
familiar with them. A couple of my neighbors have them.
Okay, and there's also James Recycling, which is a local recycling company started by a young man who's on the autism spectrum. And there's a physical drop off in Beaverton on Beaverton Hillsdale Highway in Southwest Portland that's open a few days a week. And then they also do some big recycling events throughout the year where you can bring various plastics, 2, 4, 5, 6, styrofoam, clamshells, and then also the lids, utensils, bread tags, all of those sorts of things.
So you have to save them up.
Um, Yes, so Ridwell, I believe, collects them twice a year. And James Recycling, you can either drop them off anytime you're headed to the Southwest Portland Beaverton area, or you can wait for one of their recycling events and you can see their upcoming events on their website.
Yeah. Well, I
I
live
was
on,
living in Southeast Portland. I want to still live in Southeast Portland, but I'm in assisted living now. But when I was had my apartment, I had Ridwell,
Mhm.
and they came. It was more than twice a year. It was I can't remember if it was every week or if it was every month. Uh,
It's twice a month for they do have pickups in some areas, and so does James Recycling. You can put in your zip code and see. I'm in unincorporated Washington County, and they had to stop serving our area due to a lawsuit from the waste collection company.
yeah,
So I
they
feel
had
like,
an issue in Oregon City too.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I couldn't believe how much stuff I accumulated, and but being kind of obsessive, I had so much clutter from my saving my stuff up for Ridwell because they don't take everything every week. I mean that was each there's some things that they would take every pickup, and then other things that they didn't take. And I had a bunch of bins lined up, for number one plastic, number two plastic, and so on. And it was it actually made more clutter in my apartment than it saved. But I still felt like it was my duty to try to save it. But after being in most of the past year, I've been in either hospitals or uh, rehab, and seeing the waste in the healthcare, the little bit that I'm doing at home doesn't feel like a drop in the bucket. I mean, seriously, if you haven't been in a hospital or a facility, if you have to use a bedpan or a commode, they line it with a big plastic bag, then they tie it up and throw it away. And what are archaeologists going to think years from now when they dig up all these plastic bags full?
Of, of plastic bedpan liners. Oh, goodness. That's a good point, Sharon. I know it
But
might feel like a small drop in the bucket, but I
yeah,
feel like if each of us does what we can, and I know it can get overwhelming and sometimes feel like a duty or a burden. So it's I think finding that balance. Karin, do you want to chime in here?
I was just gonna say, I feel like, at least for me, it's helpful to think about. I mean, I definitely encourage as much of like zero waste or low waste uh, techniques as we can do, but also I think accessibility is a point where that might be a line to draw. Like sometimes it's not realistic for someone to have like the health and comfort, like have their needs met by zero waste options. I think we were talking about like um, disposable underwear last time and like certain things that are harder to find in like plastic free or um, zero waste options. And I think that like we have to get our needs met and we have to be gentle with ourselves and with other people who are maybe not able to go totally zero waste because our world doesn't necessarily make it easy at all. So I think that's something like to consider, like in a hospital where it's like uh, maybe unrealistic for it to go this far, but yeah, that little drop in the bucket that you're able to do, or that we're all able to do a little bit, I think is ultimately really helpful, and also can be just like a simpler and more peaceful way to spend your time, from my perspective anyway.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Karen.
Mhm.
100% agree. Kathy, did you want to
Yeah.
share?
Well, I had a question about uh, the the medicine bottle caps or other caps that Scrap says that they will take bottle caps. Do you know what kind of bottle caps? Is it just uh like water bottle caps, or could medicine caps be sent to Scrap? Do you know anything about the bottle cap thing that they say they take?
That's a good question. Karen, do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know. I know they have some plastic, like usually bins of different colored plastic for different crafts, but I can't remember if there are like prescription bottle or like lids like that. I guess if I were reading bottle caps, I would picture just like the metal bottle caps as being what they were talking about, but I'm not sure off the top of
Oh
my
my,
head.
We'll look into that, Kathy, and
Yeah.
let you know. We have a former Big Rocks team member who works for Scrap full time, so we can always reach out to her as a resource if we can't find the information on their website.
oh, that would be great. And, just all of the kinds that they will take. Um, because there's lots of bottles, different kinds. Thank you for
There
doing that.
are, just off the top of my head, though, I was thinking along the same lines as Karin that they're talking about the metal bottle caps that you would get on a bottle of soda or beer. I
Really?
don't, yes.
See, I was thinking water bottle caps. So, I would love to have that clarified.
Okay, we will do that. I do know that you can recycle any plastic lid that has threads in it through James Recycling and through Ridwell. Karin, did you have a chance to look it up?
I'm looking at the Scrap website right now, and under the items they're currently not accepting, plastic caps is on there. So I would imagine that when they say bottle caps, they are maybe just thinking about those metal ones.
Okay.
Thank you. I guess I'll stop collecting those then. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your question, Kathy, and thank you, Karin, for looking that up for us. I appreciate it. If it's okay with everybody, I'd like to go into our slideshow and we'll show you some local places and online places where you can find zero waste items. And then I have some show and tell. I have some items with me here too, and would love to keep it interactive and conversive. So please feel free to ask questions or chime in along the way. But Jean, could you please share our slideshow? And a big thanks to Jess from our team for putting this together. She did an amazing job. All right. Let's go on to the next one. And the next one. Karin, did you visit Alberta Co-op?
I did. I have been in there once before, but just kind of grabbing something quick. So it was nice to get to spend some time really seeing everything they have. Um, they had I think it's this top left corner picture of like a free sort of take what you need spot for. It was, I think, like they were about to restock it, so it was a little empty when I went, but there was like toothpaste and bread and some things that people were able to take just for free that they had overstock of. And then I was also surprised to find pet food there. um, I've never seen like bulk pet food that I can think of, so that was cool. And they had a lot of really nice like products for washing and storage and things like that. And then, of course, just all of the bulk spices and coffee and yeah, nuts and granolas and a lot of really, yeah, great options. And then a bunch of other grocery stuff too, but this was sort of their bulk section, yeah.
Oh, thanks for visiting for us. Were you able to go in as a non-member? Can non-members shop there?
Yeah, yeah. I did buy something when I was there, and there was no, they asked if I was a member. I think maybe then, I don't know if you get a discount or if there's a point system or something, but it was no problem not to be not a member to, yeah, buy things.
Nice. From what I understand, it's $180 a year to be a member. And then I'm curious. So it's in Northeast Portland on Alberta Street. Is anybody who's here tonight a member of a co-op? Not seeing any hands. I was just curious.
Have you ever done that before, Whitney? Been part of a co-op?
I haven't. I haven't had the opportunity to. I don't feel like I have one near me, but I'm intrigued by it. And it's really great from what you said that they had this section where they're giving away overstock for free to community members. I think that's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll definitely consider joining one. And I was reading a little bit about them that they're member owned and managed, and you get to vote as a member and have input into the direction,
Mm.
the way things go with the co-op. So was really intriguing and really community based.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for visiting on behalf of our team.
Absolutely.
We'll go on to our next store that we visited. So Kayla from our team visited a store called Lush. My understanding is that there are 3 locations in the Portland metro area. This one was in Washington Square, and she took some pictures in there. You can see it's a very visually beautiful store, and is specializing in bath and beauty products, and a lot of them don't have any packaging, which packaging for a lot of us, when we did our trash analysis, we discovered that packaging makes up a huge amount of the trash in our cans each week. So let me share Kayla's notes about Lush here. Thanks for your patience, everybody. She said they have a packaging recycling program where you can bring back containers from anything that you buy in the store for proper recycling. They also have many package-free options such as bath bombs and solid shampoo bars. They even gift wrap, even their gift wrap and their ribbons are recyclable. So if you need a zero waste gift, perhaps this could be an option for you. And if you order products from them online, they use cornstarch shipping peanuts that are fully biodegradable and compostable. And they even have toothpaste in recyclable packaging, since many typical toothpaste tubes have to go into the landfill. So that's pretty cool. I haven't checked them out before, but I definitely would like to now. Has anybody been to Lush? Is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, I have used their toothpaste tabs before. My sister-in-law really loves the store, and so she got them for all of us for Christmas one year, and it was great for me. And I used to live near a Lush, and you can smell it from like a block away. It smells so good.
I used to do independent contract work, and I went to Lush a few times to evaluate it. And you walk in, it's like going into it looks like you're in a cheese shop instead of a beauty products, or because there's all these big cakes of things, and they'll cut off a piece of this, a piece of dry shampoo for you or whatever. And the things that I've used, I really liked, but because they're not a convenient place for me to go to. Uh, I haven't shopped there very much.
Or
Okay.
is it on the inside or the outside? Can you get to it from the outside, or do you have to go into the mall to get to it? You said it was in Washington Square?
Yes, Kayla from our team went. There are
Oh,
three different locations, so there might be one closer to you, Connie.
oh, okay.
The one I used to go to is Northwest 23rd,
Okay.
Okay.
and I don't remember exactly where on 23rd. I think it's near Gleason, but I don't remember exactly.
I
But
have the address here. It's 708 Northwest 23rd.
okay.
And it's also at Bridgeport, Washington Square, and Clackamas Town Center.
Oh, Clackamas has one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm remembering too that they put on the side of their products like who made it, who from their company. So I think it's like yeah, you can kind of track back the manufacturing process, which is definitely a nice peace of mind that those people are making a living wage and proud of their work.
That's really great because sometimes it's hard to uncover that or try to unravel that thread for each and every product that you buy. And that can feel really heavy. And I feel like I get stuck shopping sometimes because I can't figure that out. Thanks for that. Well, we'll go on to our next store here. This one I visited. It's called Mama and Hoppa's. They have two locations. One is in Beaverton near the Beaverton Round, and the other one is in Milwaukee. I went to the Beaverton one, but I heard that the one in Milwaukee is in a beautiful old historic building. So now I want to go check that one out as well. The staff were really nice. I walked in and I had no idea how to use the dispensers on the wall. Everything is really kind of like a high tech and electronic, and so the staff are really kind and will show you how to use the machine. They also have this section of the store where people just leave containers and jars that you can use for free, and they had all of these different things: soaps, body washes, cleansers, shampoo, anything that you might need. I ended up buying some Castile soap. They have a rotating scent. I got the lemongrass scent Castile soap, and I bought 100% biodegradable kitchen sponge that I'm going to try out and I'll report back on. Last month, we talked about pet waste bags and plastic bags and whether or not they're truly biodegradable. These that they had at the store, they are fully biodegradable, but they take 48 months, so 4 years to fully biodegrade. But it was interesting that it was very transparent there, and they had all kinds of things there. I had a really good experience. It wasn't very crowded or full. It's a very light, bright, open store. Oh. Anyone have any questions, or has anyone else been into Mama and Hoppa's? Okay. Well, I encourage you to just go check it out if you'd like to, or any of these places. Shall we talk about the next one? New Seasons. I think many of us have a New Seasons, which is it's local. I think it's now Korean owned, but it started out as a locally owned health food grocery store chain. I believe they have over 17 locations now. So I went to the one closest to me, which is Cedar Hills. And you can see they have bulk, kind of everything, dry goods, coffee, tea, pasta, beans, candy. They have honey. So I bought some honey in a glass jar and weighed the jar here, and I put the tare weight, which was half a pound, and then the product number and the date. And it was about $5 for a pint of local honey there. And then they have these soap refills that you can buy that are in the Tetra Pak cartons that are curbside recyclable apart from the lid. They also had these huge bottles of Castile soap, so you could bring your own containers and just kind of squeeze into them how much you'd like. Anybody have anything they want to add about New Seasons? They do have a senior day on Wednesdays where they give you 10% off if you're 55 or better. So my mom always goes on Wednesdays, which is really smart. And also outside each of their stores, they have free recycling for the community, and they take plastic bags or anything that's considered plastic film. And sometimes it'll have like a number 4 on it, and it's the thin plastic that doesn't crinkle. And you can just put it in the bin for free. And then they also take number 1 clear plastic clamshells for free. And again, it's just right outside the store, usually next to the bike rack. All right, should we do the next one? People's Food Co-op. Did you go to this one, Karin?
No, I don't think I've been to this one before.
Okay, let me check out Kayla's notes. So it must have been Kayla from our team, but I'm looking at that produce and that section just looks beautiful. I love how they have the bananas hanging from up above. So, okay. Okay, so Kayla says it was a very welcoming store with a great bulk section. You can make your own nut butters, grind your own coffee, and even find extracts and oils on tap. They have reusable containers, or you can bring your own. The produce section is plastic free and provides paper bags. They provide a great variety of local products as well. So that's another one that I feel like I need to check out. It is on Southeast 29th Avenue in Portland, and the annual, it's a lifetime membership fee of $180. That sounds good. And sorry, the Alberta one, it's $180 lifetime as well. I thought it was annual, but it is lifetime. And there is another food co-op that we weren't able to visit for this time. It's called Montevilla Food Co-op. And it has a $150 lifetime membership. So actually, they don't have a physical store. You place your order online the second Tuesday of every month, and then you pick it up at their pop-up the following weekend. So they're currently looking for a physical store site, and their products are kind of ever changing. They offer beans, nuts, pasta, syrup, and honey right now. So that could be an option too, especially if somebody's not able to get out to a physical store. At least you're supporting a locally owned company and you can still order online from your home. Has anybody been to People's Food Co-op? Anything anyone wants to add or any questions? Okay, let's check out our next store.
I went to this one,
Oh.
Realm Refillery in like sort of Sullivan's Gulch area. And I've been here before and purchased some things here before. It's really a cute store. Everyone was really friendly. I went on a Sunday and they were very busy, but they were still really helpful and friendly. There's a lot of really good bulk vegan options here. I've heard that from multiple vegans that they have like a Worcestershire sauce. I don't know how to say that. Worcestershire sauce that's vegan that I guess is all the rage. And they also have, I think you mentioned this maybe at, I'm not sure which one, but they have a section where people bring reusable containers. And so that's in this picture that's on the bottom left here. So that might also be a place to bring some of your containers if you're not sure, if you don't necessarily need to reuse them, but so that they don't go to waste. There's some plastic ones there. There's glass and different things that you can use that people have left when you go in. And then they also have like glass jars for sale, and you can bring your own jars, of course. And they have refill, you can kind of see it on the top right picture at the bottom of that shelf, refills for like a SodaStream machine that isn't SodaStream brand. I know that a lot of people are boycotting SodaStream brand right now, so definitely nice to be able to find those refill canisters from another company. And yeah, they have just a lot of really great stuff, and they have, if you're into like kind of fancier beauty products, they have so many like lotions and masks and shampoos and beautiful smells and just all kinds of like really nice yeah, skin and beauty products. And food, lots of food.
That's always important. Thanks so much for visiting, Karin, and for telling us about it. I did
Yeah.
also notice the non-SodaStream refills at Mama and Papa's too,
Okay.
in case
Great.
that's helpful to anybody. Yeah. There were a couple of bulkway stores locally owned that we weren't able to get to in time, so I just wanted to mention them briefly. One is called Way of Being, and it's on Southeast Hawthorne near 34th. And they sell a wide range of self-care essentials in plastic-free packaging. They're from Black, Latinx, Indigenous, LGBTQ plus, and women and veteran-owned businesses. So I'd like to get over to that part of town and check that out for sure. I think that'd be fun. And we were not able to get over to Simpson's Refillery, which is on Northeast Sandy Boulevard, but they specialize in refillable soaps, suds, and scents. Let's look at the next slide. We have a few more here for you, and then we also have some online options. Realm,
Oh,
more
even
pictures.
more. Yeah, you can kind of see some of the beauty products here. There's facial cleansers, eye serums, face masks, multiple soap scents and deodorant and yeah, and then that lovely produce section as well.
Nice, beautiful photos. Thank you for taking them. We'll go on to the next slide, Jean. Winco. How many folks shop at Winco?
I love Winco.
Yeah, me too. It's employee owned, which is awesome. There's a lot of locations. They're open 24/7. Yeah, Connie, do you want to chime in, or are you just saying that you shop there too?
Just saying I shop there.
Yeah. Really love it. Like the produce is loose, not in plastic for the most part. And then there are just rows and rows of bins. They did have pet food there too, Karin, all kinds. They even had bird seed that you can put in your bird feeder in your yard if you wanted to. Dog and cat treats, all kinds of kibble, coffee. You can see tea on the upper left. They had probably 3 aisles of just candy, which I find really dangerous to walk through. You can see Jocelyn down here is shopping in the bulk candy. It was $2.98 a pound, and you could just kind of do a mix of different kinds of candy. So really love it. Anybody want to add anything about Winco?
Yeah,
sure.
if you go after a holiday for the candy, uh, one time I went there right after Halloween, and I got like a 5 pound bag of candy corn for $1 or something like that.
Oh no, I wish you hadn't told me because candy corn is my favorite.
But anyhow, go after the holiday, and you know they they bag stuff up, and it's really cheap.
La, 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 la. That's good to know. I didn't know that like the bulk can go on sale too. So yeah. And it was just really clean. This was a Sunday and it wasn't utter chaos. I mean, it was busy, but it wasn't.
One thing that's I used to when I was doing independent contracting, I went to a lot of Winco stores, and there's really a difference in the cleanliness of the stores. And actually, at one of the stores, I can't remember if it was the one on 122nd or the one on 102nd, but I actually saw cockroaches, and
Ooh.
the restroom. The last time, a couple of years ago, I went to the one on 102nd, and the I was going to use a large stall in the restroom, and they had this thick plastic. I don't know what. I guess it was out of order or something, but they had this big, huge plastic thing full of people having gone, and
Oh
it was
no.
really disgusting. So, the cleanliness in the stores and, in the
Yeah.
deli department, sometimes the things that they put things out by the slicer, they don't put it back in the cooler very quickly. And so there might, some of the stores, this stuff might be out for hours, just sitting on the shelf. So, you need to be cautious there. What, is
That's really good to know. Thank you for sharing that. So it does depend on the location, on the cleanliness, and maybe just be aware of daily items that might spoil if they've been left out. I do notice that I feel like there's such a volume of clientele that the produce is very fresh because it's just constantly turning over. I got some bananas and there weren't any out, and the gentleman was trying to restock and was basically just handing out bananas as fast as he could to people who were wanting them. So. Yeah. And then Karen put a really great comment in the chat. Thanks for making this, Karen. Karen wrote, solid shampoo and bath products are also great for travel. No liquid for TSA limits. That's a really good tip and a really good point. And we're going to show another locally owned store that has shampoo bars and conditioner bars too. That's coming up soon. Jean, could you go to the next slide? So here are some other locally owned businesses that you can get zero waste products from. One is called Marley's Monsters, and they're based in Eugene. And I actually bought reusable paper towels for all of our team members for the holidays last year, as I bought some sustainable gifts for folks. And they came from Marley's Monsters. They also do other products like sponges, napkins, toilet paper, washable sponges, bath and beauty products. You can hop on their website, and they also offer coupons for 10 to 15, even sometimes like 30% off around big holidays if you check your email and you sign up for their newsletter. So we got a question in the chat. How in the world do you use a shampoo bar? Good question, Jean. I know when I first got one, I got one as a gift for Christmas in my stocking. I was like, what do I do with this? And you add water and then it foams up. And so you can rub it all over your head and then put the bar down and just suds up like you would with a liquid shampoo. And they have conditioner bars too that act the same way. So as long as you keep your bar kind of out of the running water, then it can dry out in between showers and you could travel with it. So I hope that helps. I was in Asia for about a month at the end of 2025 in Vietnam and Cambodia. And when I came back, I really wanted to support Vietnamese and Cambodian locally owned businesses. Because these folks are also refugees or descendants of refugees, and just really wanting to support refugee owned businesses with what's happening right now. So I found a Portland-based, Cambodian-owned zero waste boba tea company. They sell regular tea and all kind of boba products that are all zero waste and sustainable and beautifully packaged. If you have someone in your life who loves boba tea and you want to give a gift, or just a regular tea lover too. So yes, Jean writes in the chat, kind of like rubbing a bar of soap on your hair, it sounds like. Yes, exactly like that. And then the water is the magic ingredient. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And where I got that, my very first bar of dry shampoo, or the shampoo bar, was Mad Sass Soap Company. It's located in Multnomah Village. You can shop online or you can go in person, and they have handmade local bath products, all kinds of different fun things. So it could just be a fun field trip.
Whitney, is the boba tea place, is it just the title of it is boba tea, or what's it called?
Oh, I'm sorry that the name isn't on here. Yeah, it is. And we'll put it in our newsletter that's going to come out next week. We'll have links to all these. So it's called BBT, like capital B, capital B, and then capital TEA, but like all together, BBT.
Got it.
Yeah. And I also learned too, this is just kind of an aside. I didn't realize that in Portland, we have one of the largest Vietnamese communities in the United States. And we have about 18 to 30,000 folks by estimate. And I was talking with one of my colleagues, and he was in seminary school training to be a priest. He's actually no longer a priest, but in 1975, when refugees arrived from Vietnam to Mount Angel, Oregon, Mount Angel's famous for its Oktoberfest, but before that, in 1975, it was a huge receiving center for refugees from Vietnam. And so he helped the families get settled in, helped reunite families, help them get oriented to Portland. And because Portland was such a warm, welcoming place, that's why we now have such a large community today, which I thought was really cool. So now I'm going to local Vietnamese businesses, Cambodian businesses, just trying to support them as much as I can. And I never drank coffee before I went to Vietnam. And now I am definitely a convert, but I find I can only drink Vietnamese coffee. So I found a locally owned Vietnamese coffee shop and go there as a special treat. But I also found a cafe that sells coffee beans that are grown in Vietnam but roasted in Portland. So you can find all kinds of things if you're out there looking. Lots of ways to support locally owned businesses, zero waste businesses, and refugee owned businesses. So I'll get off my soapbox, my Mad Sass soapbox, and we'll go into the next slide. Okay, some online shopping. A lot of the stores that we've already shown, they also offer online shopping. This one I want to check out. I'm still looking for my handkerchiefs. This one's called Last Object, and it's a B Corp certified. Everything ships plastic free. They ship all over the world, and they have lots of reusable beauty products, pads, tissues, things like that. One of the stores that I came across when I was looking for handkerchiefs, it's a women-owned business based out of Canada, and they have these beautifully handmade, hand-sewn handkerchiefs and other products like napkins made by local women. And it's, they're paid a living wage. And so they're just beautiful products if you want to hop on their website. And the shipping price includes tariffs, just so you know. Next slide. Okay, last month we had a question about greener incontinence products for older adults. So here are two options that our team found. I don't know a ton of details about them, but we'll put some links in our resources in our follow-up email. You've got Green Giants and Wellness Briefs.
On that topic, I will just say that I was in a Goodwill about a week ago, and they had the whole bottom shelf was packages of unopened incontinence briefs from different brands. So it's possible to find them secondhand too.
I didn't know that they would even take them. Usually we try not to donate those things there. They don't accept personal products. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. We often donate tampons, pads, things like this to Rosehaven. They're really grateful to get them. I know they go through them quickly. So, but very cool. Thanks, Karen. We'll talk a little bit more about Goodwill later too. So I know that we have about 10 minutes left, so I'll keep pushing us along here. Jean, let's look at the next one. So speaking of Goodwill, there was this article just a few days ago in the New York Times, and it kind of blew my mind. So Goodwill broke their record for revenue last year, $7 billion of revenue. They said that shopping is up. Americans are seeking deals because we're feeling squeezed by inflation, by tariffs, an uncertain job market, and just general economic anxiety. They have 3,400 stores, and they're going to be adding about 100 more in North America within the next year. They do use the funds raised, though, that $7 billion goes towards education, job training, and community programs. They collect 6 billion pounds of goods each year, which also blew my mind. And there's a trend of Gen Z and millennial shoppers embracing secondhand fashion. So we have a little slide on the right-hand side here with some tips about fashion. And coming up this fall, we'll have one event solely dedicated to talking about fast fashion. And we're going to invite some local experts who are really passionate about that topic and who can share with us. And I'll also talk about how to create a capsule wardrobe if you want to create a wardrobe that is like simpler and maybe more sustainable for you. But going back to Gen Z and millennials, why are they shopping? Why are they finding fashions at Goodwill? So they said low prices, sustainability, and unique styles. Value Village also saw an increase of 16% in the last quarter of 2025. There's a company called ThreadUp where you can mail in your gently used clothes. It's an online consignment shop. Their revenue went up 34% last quarter. And then Goodwill's annual sales increased by 50% since 2019. So just in the last 6 years, which again blows my mind. So I'm happy to hear that more people are shopping sustainably, although it might be kind of for different reasons, maybe feeling like they have to pinch some pennies. But just wanted to share these statistics with you. Let's hop to the next slide here. I just wanted to show you my really simple zero waste home shopping kit. So I've got this reusable mesh bag that can be used for produce, and I have several of them in here. Some people use a basket to hold their supplies. I have these takeout containers that I'm going to be reusing, and we'll have them weighed and we'll put the tear weight on them once we get in the shop. And then I have a couple different size glass jars for things like honey or soap. And lastly, I have some Sharpie markers so that I can label everything easily and clearly. Really simple kit that I just threw together at home in 5 minutes. Let's go into the store. Thank you, Jean, for showing that. Thank you. We can take our slideshow down now. Do just a tiny bit of show and tell as we're wrapping up. Does anybody have any questions or anything you want to add to anything you saw in the slideshow tonight? Okay, I'll just show a few sustainable products that I've come across that I wanted to share with you. These are bamboo toothbrushes, and I randomly found these at Sierra Trading Post. So sometimes even at big box stores, you might come across some surprises. It was $6 for 5 toothbrushes, so just $1.25 a toothbrush. Yeah, they're bamboo. The bristles are made out of nylon 6 and they're BPA free. So I'm trying these out. I do have to admit that the bamboo texture feels strange in my mouth. I don't know if anyone else has tried bamboo toothbrushes and how you feel about them.
Whitney, it might be helpful if you take your background off if you can, so we can see a little better. I think we could see those ones, but they're starting to.
Okay, thank you.
I have used bamboo toothbrushes, and I didn't have an issue with it, but I also always liked eating ice cream with those little wooden spoons, and apparently a lot of people hate that texture, so I might just be the weird one.
No, it might just be me. Maybe I'm just sensitive to the bamboo texture. You see, my office is kind of like it's a little boring. That's why I use the virtual background. So speaking of bamboo, these are utensils that you can take so you can hook them to your backpack or your belt or whatever. And you've got a knife, a spoon, and a fork made out of bamboo. Just really easy and lightweight to travel with. And then you don't have to get the plastic disposable stuff when you do takeout. More utensils. So this is part of the gift that I gave our team along with those reusable paper towels. So it is a plastic container, but it's small and it fits in the console of my car. It's where I keep it. But it has stainless steel straw with a cleaner, and then it has a knife, a spoon, and a fork. So it's just, again, something that you can always take with you in case, you're eating out, then you don't have to get the plastic silverware if you don't want to get that. And, okay, this might sound kind of strange, but chopsticks. These are so helpful and universal. And after spending almost a month in Asia, I was just like, how are we not using these from a very young age in this country? So, yeah, Jean says, hooray. I mean, you can eat with them, but then they're also serving utensils. If you flip them around and use the clean end that isn't touching your mouth, you can eat shared meals with folks. Like, how you go to a potluck and you have to find a serving utensil for every single dish? Like, you could just use the clean end of your chopsticks to eat family style. And there's just so many uses. You can even use them to put your hair up, twist it in a knot, stick them through, put them in your garden to label how you plant the rows. I mean, so many different things. Can anybody else think of other uses for chopsticks? They can also help you slow down a little bit while eating. My brother-in-law eats pretty much everything he can with his chopsticks, including salad. So yeah, love chopsticks. And then I've got two more things to show you. So this is something that I take when I'm traveling or when I'm hiking. I take this in my backpack. I've got it wrapped in my reusable paper towel from Marley's Monsters. This is a flannel towel, and they have these fun random patterns. This has dinosaurs on it. And I've got I call it my MacGyver spork. So it's metal, and it's a spoon and it's a fork. It also has this so you can clip it onto your bag or your pants or something and won't get lost. It has a bottle opener built in on the end as well. And it probably does a million other things. I think it has a little edge that you can like saw with, cut with. There's probably other things that I don't even know yet what it does. So that's why I call it the MacGyver spork. And it's really lightweight too. And I traveled with it. I went through customs. It wasn't a problem. TSA did not flag it as a weapon, which is good. And the last thing I'll show you, I got these in my stocking from my future sister-in-law for Christmas. These are little tablets. They're maybe the size of a dime. And you just add a few drops of water and it expands into a biodegradable wipe that you can use when you're traveling, like a disinfectant wipe to clean your hands or your face or something. But again, super lightweight. They don't take up a lot of room, fully biodegradable. So some fun things to share with y'all. I'm curious if you have any favorite zero waste products that you want to share or talk about. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We have a fun blog coming out. It's going to have a lot of great links and additional resources that we weren't able to squeeze in tonight. We would love to have you come back for our next time. It's going to be on Wednesday, March 4th, same time, 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific. We'll be talking specifically about zero waste and food prep and storage. So much of the waste that ends up in our landfills and affecting our ozone comes from food waste. So we're going to focus on that next month, and I'll be really curious to hear about all of your tips. Any other questions or comments for tonight? Okay, if anybody finds some really great dryer balls that don't shock us, or if you try any of the things mentioned tonight or visit any of the stores, we'd love to hear about it. Karin, did you want to add anything?
I just like the way that you finished your video before with "Let's go shopping." That's what I have to say.
Well, and with that, let's go shopping, but sustainably and mindfully and intentionally. Thank you again for being here tonight. We really appreciate you all, and I hope you have a wonderful month ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you, Big Rocks.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.